Do you have a brilliant startup idea but are stuck in the launching phase? Are you feeling overwhelmed by funding, marketing, or just where to start? Don't let your startup idea stay grounded. Visit our website at eapla.com to schedule a Blue Couch meeting and launch your startup journey today.
Welcome back to On The Cusp, another episode with my co-host Matt Snyder. And I'm going to tell you, we got a really super guest here today for this episode. I'm going to let Matt introduce him, but it's been in this community for 40 years.
I'm really excited about this because, first off, we have Robert Chu of Imperial Cathay with us today. And this restaurant has been a huge part of my life all growing up. And I just formally met Robert a few weeks ago. And the minute we met, we're like, wait a minute, we've known each other for, 30 years, because that restaurant has been so fundamental in so many Shreveporters' lives for so long. Yeah. It's really an amazing thing. So I'm excited to hear the Imperial story and talk to you a little about that. Robert, you want to just kind of start and tell us about Imperial?
Well, Imperial Cathay started back in 1989, and my mother-in-law, Chef Lee, she's the founder of the restaurant, and I married Joyce, my wife, 1999, and soon after my mother-in-law announced her retirement, and I owned another restaurant on the other side of town, and she wanted to sell the restaurant, so I took over. So I bought it, and I took over ever since early 2000s. So I've been owning the restaurant for about 25 years.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
The restaurant is so consistent. I'm an old restaurant guy. It is hard to have a restaurant be consistent for a year. You've had a restaurant that's been consistent for 30 years.
Right.
Talk to me about that. What is the daily challenge to do that?
Well, like everyone, I guess everyone knows, restaurant is very challenging.
Right.
And I just have to be at a restaurant almost every single day.
Yep.
Almost every single day. And that's
everybody I've ever talked to in that business, it's not something that you're going to let somebody else run.
No, it's not going to work.
All the good operators I know are
Yes.
hands-on.
In there.
I mean, Chris McJungens had walk-ons all over the country. He had and he was still at that hostess stand at Cantina Laredo.
Yes.
I mean, every day.
Exactly.
I mean, the good ones.
Now, do you still have, we're past the COVID pandemic. Are you still having staffing problems today?
Luckily, I do, but not severely, because I have this core group that's been with me for 20 plus years.
Wow.
And they stuck around. I have
Did you carry your group through COVID?
Yes, all of them did. They all chose to stay, to work, continue, throughout the COVID. I have, amazing kitchen crew, the front of the house crew, and they all decided to stay with me throughout the whole COVID.
I mean, and that's so nice from a customer basis when you walk in and you see the familiar faces and you know the people, and no matter if it's been a month since I've been at Imperial or 6 months, the minute I pull in that parking lot and walk in that door, it's like, you're back home. Everybody it's back how it's always been.
Yeah.
I have some just amazing memories in that restaurant.
Thank you.
But you got some good news. Things are changing. What's next for Imperial?
Well, we are about to open up a new restaurant called Koi. It's on Line Avenue. It was the old Cypress building, and it was a beautiful restaurant before, and I was a big fan of that restaurant. And we had a good opportunity to take over.
There was a lot of rumors when Cypress closed of who was gonna take that restaurant on. And all the critics in the background were all judging, oh, I hope they get it. And everybody I talked to was rooting for y'all. I mean, it was like, that would be incredible. So I know the community is really excited. By the time this gets out, it will be open and people will be experiencing it.
Yes.
Tell us about what you've done in the building and and some of the process of getting ready?
Well, it was a very challenging step, I guess, to get the restaurant from a beautiful Cypress
Yeah, it
restaurant.
was so pretty already.
And turn that into a better restaurant per se. So we had to hire quite a few designers, and then we finally came down with one single designer that fits what we need in the community. And so we built a beautiful restaurant. So this designer is from Houston, and we order everything from all over the world, and we put together a beautiful restaurant.
And when do you think you'll be open?
I think that we're shooting for mid-December.
Wow.
Mid-December.
Everybody's
Right
out
before-
Christmas shopping. That would
Yeah,
be
right
great.
before Christmas.
Entrepreneurs are always at their best when there's a reason behind things, and there's a why, and there's a purpose to the movements. I feel like the best companies always have that. And the minute I sat down with y'all, everything had reasoning and thought, and the design had a story to it, and the plan had a story to it. Can you talk a little about just the importance in the details? Y'all have always been so good at the details.
We built Koi. Joyce and I, we built Koi. Mainly, of course, we saw a good opportunity to bring something special to the community. But most importantly, like I mentioned, I have a core group of coworkers, my team. They've been with me for 20 plus years, and they became family.
Right.
And Joyce and I were approaching to the age where we're thinking about retirement, and we can't just leave our family behind.
So instead of retiring, you're opening a brand new restaurant?
Yeah,
Robert,
wow.
that is the opposite of retirement.
Yeah, that is.
Well, this is the thing. So Koi is a restaurant not just solely owned by us.
Right.
It will be partnered with all my coworkers.
Oh,
that's
wow.
amazing.
So they
From
all have an
Imperial.
interest in
That's
it.
amazing.
Yes.
They have an interest in this being successful.
Yes, they do. They do. So instead of coworkers, now I have a bunch of
Partners.
so they're gonna bring their ideas, and they're gonna bring their experience, and we're gonna make this restaurant brilliant.
I mean, Uri Drive and Line Avenue, those are the life veins of Shreveport.
Yes.
And now we're going to have you on both of them. I'm really
Yes.
excited about
That
that.
is, definitely.
And Koi, just from being in there, is going to blow everyone's minds that
Yeah.
was fans of Cypress and loved what that building had become. And Lindsay and Dr. Larson did a great job with
Yes,
the
they
creation
did.
of that building. But you've taken it. It's a hard thing to take a beautiful place like that people liked
It was very
and
challenging.
make it your own.
Yes, it was a very challenging journey. So just to think what we should keep at
Right.
the restaurant, or what should we move out of the restaurant.
That was the other
That-
thing, is just thinking about it. It was like, well, it can't look like it's just another restaurant stuck in Cypress.
No.
So there has to be
Right.
changes.
Yes.
And I mean, I just think you did a beautiful. It's
Thank
got
you.
such an
Thank you.
Asian flair to the design,
Exactly.
which is so cool.
Yeah.
So y'all told me, talk a little, the designer thinking about using the past, present, and the future
Right.
in the design is just so cool.
Yeah, it's an Asian fusion themed restaurant. So Asian fusion restaurant actually means, you bring different parts of different type of Asian cuisine into one single place. So there's different parts of the restaurant that different elements that goes in the restaurant, past, present, and future. So we have three separate rooms in the restaurant, one being the future, one being the present, and one being the past. And designer did a great job, illustrate all of that elements.
It's really cool. Okay, so on that, on the past, while we're talking past, present, and future, you made me think of something. I'm interested to hear your take on the restaurant scene in Shreveport now compared to what it was 25 years. I feel like we have so much more talented players and restaurants that are closer to the places we go out of town to eat at. than we did 25, 30 years. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, I think, like Koi is a restaurant that we created. Mainly, I think we brought a restaurant from like the big city. I think that Shreveport deserves a elevated restaurant that normally we go out to big city to enjoy.
Right.
It was one of the only spots kind of missing was that high-end Asian, like
I know
cheese and
right. For us, when we bring people in out of town, for economic development activities, we're always going, okay, we got to put our best foot forward. Where are we taking them? Cypress was one of them. Superior, if there's a follow-on visit, you can't take them back to Superior. You got to have someplace to go.
Yes.
So it's exciting to hear that, what you're saying, because that's what we need.
Yes,
Okay?
exactly.
And that strip of Line Avenue is very important for Shreveport. The health of that area is really important for our overall look, because every city has to have a high-end area that is vibrant, and if it's not vibrant, it's probably a bad
It's hard to
sign.
sell.
Yeah,
It's hard to sell.
and y'all are going to be a huge part of that.
Yes, we're definitely enjoy being part of that town. And Joyce and I would go on Line Avenue to eat all the time.
Right.
Like you mentioned, a few of my favorite spots, Superior's, Chianti.
The restaurant community here supports each other so well.
Exactly.
I was in Blake Jackson's new restaurant last night, and Phil Barbary and his wife walk in, and and everybody's coming to check out the new spot and support each other.
Yes.
I think that is unique to Shreveport in some ways, the size we have, that everybody knows each other and has relationships
Yes.
in that world.
Definitely.
So the restaurant will open. Imperial will continue to be Imperial.
Continue. Yeah.
So Imperial, we can't talk about Imperial without talking about the greatest to-go order system in the world. I mean, no restaurant can have your food taste better and be ready faster than Imperial Cathay.
Yes.
Will Koi have a to-go function like that?
We will have to-go orders, but when we first open, we like to concentrate on dine-in.
Right.
For when we first open, and then we're gonna continue with our to-go and catering menus and all of that.
Oh, catering too.
Yeah, catering. We're
Now-
gonna do catering menus.
That'll be big. A lot of
Yes.
people will enjoy that.
Yes.
In every home I've ever lived in Shreveport, the game has been you call Imperial, put your order in, and can I beat it being ready?
Yeah.
And I bet you out of well over 100 tries, it's been very, very few times I've won that game.
Yes.
So,
Yeah, our drive-through system actually we created back when COVID happened. We were so busy and we were very chaotic, trying to figure out which car comes into the parking lot first, and we say, wait a minute, let me see what I can do with that. So we start putting cones, all around the restaurant, so cars will follow the cones to the place where we like them to pick up orders. And I say, wait a minute, let me just knock this wall out and build a door.
yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
So that's how we created that. That was a temporary thing. I thought it was gonna be temporary, and then he stayed. And it was the best thing ever.
that's the fun part about owning your own business and being an
Yeah, that's
entrepreneur.
right.
Is like
You
you
can-
see the problem and like,
you take care of
that's
it.
right.
You
Hey,
fix
knock
it
that
right
wall
down.
out.
Yeah,
How
knock that
fast can
wall
we have
out.
that wall out?
Yep.
You got to come up with solutions quickly. You
Yes,
can't wait
you
around.
do have to. Yeah, you do have to.
Out of all the chaos of COVID, the one thing that I look back and like really kind of like about it was it made people put that creative hat back on and like, how do we solve a problem? And the people that came out of it well, they really
They
came
were
out of it well.
innovative. They were innovative. And I mean, I've talked to a lot of people that have said that in their industry, COVID did a lot for them because they had to change. They had to find a way to do business.
Yes.
They had to be innovative, and they made it work.
It's incredible as you talk to business owners, like how different the world really kind of was before and after in that. Like, I don't know that any other thing in my lifetime has been such a boom right
Game
now, and the
changer.
world's going to be totally different coming
Yes.
out of the backside
Right.
of this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We all live in a different world. Like,
We really do.
We do.
I mean, I wish I could find a $150 hotel again. I mean, like hotels went from, you know, you get a
Yeah.
nice hotel for $200. Now they're like $2,000.
exactly.
I mean,
Exactly.
Well, you know, Robert, so a lot of people tell us, hey, Shreveport has all the restaurants that it needs. We don't need any more restaurants. Obviously, you disagree with that.
I disagree. We have bunch of really cool, really nice restaurants, but you know, we don't have anything like Koi. So Koi will be one of the few that stand out.
right.
And I firmly believe that Shreveport really need a restaurant. We deserve to have a restaurant like Koi, and that's why I
100%.
created it. Yes.
And I'm thankful for it. And that's the fun thing of the restaurant business. The restaurant business is always evolving. There's always something new. It's why it's fun to travel and go try new restaurants, but to see
Yes.
what's happening, and that's always going to be there. I've been in a lot of meetings and a lot of groups with people in all kind of industry that see, you know, new restaurants as competition. Oh, we only have this many people every time something new. My argument would be you need that. That's how it's supposed to happen.
Right.
Yeah.
The bottom is supposed to fall out. If you don't want to fall out, get better. And
Yes.
that's how you keep pushing your city along and you keep growing. And I am so proud of so many of the restaurant guys in town. I mean, what Anthony Fallon has done, I remember when he was cooking for Brady at Wine Country, now with Fat Gap, what Gabriel's done. And it's cool because so many of those guys came out of, I mean, you could go back down the Superior lineage, and so many of the big restaurant owners of today came out of that Superior kitchen. I mean,
Right.
Gabriel and the Key Mexico guys, and we've got a lot of exciting things
It
happening.
is. There's a
in food
lot
in
going on.
Shreveport.
I think there's a lot of positive stuff going on in Shreveport. I think there's been a lot of successes in Shreveport because Matt and I always go back and forth. I'm a jobs guy. Create jobs. You know, you got to have the jobs first, then you'll get all the culture and all the restaurants that you want.
I want to make sure when Dave brings that guy in from Dallas and tries to convince him to move his company here, he can take him to Koi, and that guy's like, wow, this restaurant could be anywhere in the world.
Yep.
I mean, that's how it has to be. You
Yeah.
gotta have spots that, and it's happening.
Yes.
All right. Well, Robert, thank you. Best of luck.
Thank you so much.
We
Glad to
appreciate
be
you
here.
coming on. the
Yeah,
podcast
thank
today.
you for coming on here. This has been a really
Thank
special
you.
one for
Thank
me.
you. Thank you.
Yeah.
Appreciate
All
you.
right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Enjoy the podcast? We would love your feedback about today's show and who you think should be our next guest. Send us an email at info@eapla.com. Also, be sure to share the show and leave a comment on our social media post.